Hi guys, grab my cup of tea actually. I don't know how long I've got. Someone's coming to buy my wife's car. It's got a faulty clutch. It's quite an old car, so I don't really want to spend money on it. Let me just get my tea a minute. Da, da, da. Okay, I'm back. I've got someone coming to buy my wife's car. I think in half an hour. Let's see if they've messaged me. The clutch is gone. It's £900 to fix it. I ain't spending £900 on a car that old. Just said leaving now. Should be there in an hour. There we are. They're in traffic. Okay, so they've just sent it. Right. So they're coming in an hour. So hi guys, hi Emily, hi Pat. Now I've just received a message. Now I've been posting the videos of Priscilla Presley and Joe Esposito. Yeah. So I've been trying to, in a respectful way, because I am very intense. Hi Larry. It's very important to me that how we defend now, when it concerns Priscilla, that we are doing it in a way where we can back up what we're saying. It's very important to me. Now, I think the eyes are on us at the moment. So we will defend factually, without any name calling, with no hate. We're going to defend, we're going to do right by Elvis, and we're going to do it in a way where we cannot get in trouble. Remember, when we talk about other people, we can get in trouble. So that not just from YouTube or Facebook or whatever it is, but also from the people themselves. So I'm very, very on it that we are no name calling and we are sticking to the facts. Okay, guys? Sorry to sound so strict, but that is how we are. Okay? So remember, we are called Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. And we defend Elvis, Lisa Marie, and the bloodline. We also defend Gladys and Vernon and Benjamin. Yeah? We do what we can to expose the wrongdoing to these people. Yeah. The way we do it really is through watching, through reading, through old interviews, through documents, just piecing things together in a way where we can go, look, this was said, and this is who said it, and this is how we prove it. That's how we're going to do it. I will not be known as a hate channel, and I'm going to say it every video until we get it through to Team Elvis that we are not a hate channel. We won't be that. Sorry, I keep nagging. Yeah, thanks, Pat. Now, Pat, I did want to say something about that. I'm a little bit reluctant to overly review other people's videos because they don't really want me using their videos. Yeah, it's their videos. They want their own views. Now, what I will do is I'll play a minute or so. A couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there of other people's videos. But generally, I'm reluctant to use other people's videos without their permission. Okay? But I definitely did watch Rhonda. I'm a massive fan of Rhonda. I think she's got an amazing channel. We'd like to see Rhonda post more videos. Yeah? Once a week she's so good at what she does. We'd like to see Rhonda post more videos, more live, and maybe even do some lives. We think Rhonda's great. We trust Rhonda, don't we? But once a week, we'd love to see more. Yeah? Yeah, Pat, you want my take on it, but I've watched it and it's very similar to what we did. Pat, do you know that we did a video on that topic? We did 3 live streams concerning the release of the book. Yeah? Priscilla's new book. We basically said the same thing because we read out the press release of the book. Yeah, the title and what's in the book, what we expect the book will have in it, the different topics in the book. I think we covered it really well. I think we did 4 lives. We did 3 at home and 1 on a dog walk. So every single thing that Rhonda said, we had in our video, in our coverage of our live streams. So I personally think we did it. Yeah, Pat, if you miss a live, you just go to the link of my lives and it's all there. Yeah, 4 hours of lives we did. I think we thoroughly covered that topic. We're going to do more though. We're definitely going to do more though. But guys, any of you that don't know Rhonda, she's brilliant. Presley Mania, please subscribe to her. She's great. If you want to see our opinion on the book release, I think it was 23rd of September. We've done loads of lives on it last week, and we're going to do more as well. So, okay. So someone sent me a message. Let's have a look. I've been discussing that I personally, just an opinion, think that we've managed to catch Priscilla Presley out in a lie. Yeah. Now, this is my opinion for entertainment purposes. Our opinion. She says, how can I try and get her wording of it? She says, oh yeah, a friend of mine introduced me to Elvis or came up to me. Oh, and then she backtracks. Oh, it wasn't a friend. Yeah, this is about the very first meeting of Cary Grant, who obviously we've discussed the book Child Bride. Now, the just trying to get my memory right. The version we are told is that Cary Grant, a complete stranger, approached her in a snack bar and said, "Do you know Elvis Presley? Would you like to meet him?" Her reaction was something like, "Of course I do. Everyone does. Oh, I'd love to meet him. Who wouldn't?" Yeah. Now that's the version of events that we are told. We'll probably find it in here and we'll read it out in here, but I just don't have time. But we're gonna find the written version of how she was introduced to how Cary Grant approached her. Yeah. And I'll read that out. But so within that, she backtracks and says, "Oh, actually, we weren't friends. I didn't know him." Yeah. Then we go a bit further on. So then Joe Esposito says, "Oh, yes, Elvis told me that his friend Cary Grant knew a girl who had asked him if she could meet Elvis." This is Joe Esposito's words. Hi, Lorna. Hi, Martha. Hi, Emily. Hi, Pat. So remember, Joe Esposito, and we're going to play it. Joe Esposito says that Elvis said that his mate, Cary Grant, someone told me that Cary Grant actually was one of the managers of the Eagles Club. Is that true? The club where Priscilla frequented, where Cary Grant supposedly noticed her. Yeah. He was the manager of this Eagles Club in Bad Nauheim in Germany. But anyway, so Elvis said that Cary Grant, Joe Esposito said to Elvis that Cary Grant had told him that a girl wants to meet him called Priscilla, that Priscilla had asked Cary Grant to introduce her to Elvis. So that goes against what we have been told for 50 years. This book says a complete stranger approached Priscilla and said, "Do you want to meet Elvis?" That's the version we're told. We think that we've caught Priscilla in a lie. I know that we've covered this already yesterday, but I still want to go through it because someone messaged me. Someone messaged me on a comment. Let's just see if it comes up. Did I take a picture of it? Let's have a look. See if I took a picture of it. I should have took a picture of it. The comment basically said, oh, here we are. I've got the comment here. I'll take a picture of it. The comment says, you edited it down. So the comment is referring to my video that I posted, and she's accusing me of re-editing the clip. I did not edit it. I did cut the clip out and post it. I didn't edit it. The exact same clip that was said by Joe Esposito, I posted. No changes, right? But it is a short part of the entire video. So that made me think, well, I'm going to play the Joe Esposito video. So this is the words of, this is Tonya Sullivan. Tonya Sullivan, I just want you to know, I did not edit it. It's a short clip. I did not edit it. Yeah. So her words are this: you edited it down. Now, yes, it's a shorter version, but I didn't change anything. I showed the exactly what was said. That's not what Joe said in that interview. He was talking about Elvis asking him to work for him. No, he wasn't. Yeah, so that's not correct. He also talked about how Elvis met Priscilla in the same interview. Yeah, he does. That is the clip. Yeah, that is the clip. So what I'm going to do is show that I haven't changed anything. Yeah. So Tonya, we're going to show you that there's no, I'm not a liar. If I've got something to show, I won't re-edit it and mix it up to suit myself. I'm an honest person. I will show you how it really is. Okay. So this is for Tonya. So I'm going to play the 2 clips first. Then I'm going to go to the original video. Hi, Larry. Thanks for your comment. Remember, Larry, we are going to do this in a respectful way. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care who it annoys. I am not going to sit here and name call or insult people. I won't do it. Right. Okay. Right. So let's go to first of all, let's go to the 2 clips. Okay. I need to get it up a minute. Got me a cup of tea. You got a cup of tea, guys? Who is that guy? Right. So let's go to the 2 clips. So we go to
Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Riley Keough, is opening up.
So what we're going to do, let's get my earphones on. We're going to make sure that you guys can see it. So we're going to add it. Hi, Hillbilly Cat. Hillbilly, the point of this video is that somebody is doubting my video clips that I posted showing that Priscilla has altered the truth. And I'm backing it up by, let's have a look. Let's get this right. I'm backing it up by showing Joe Esposito's comments. Now, there's a possibility someone's going to turn up to buy my wife's car. So if I suddenly have to go, I'm sorry. Right. So, okay. Let's put that there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to my clips, your videos. We're going to play the 2 clips. Then I'm going to find the originals to show you that I haven't altered it. First of all, we'll play Priscilla's one. Right, you ready? Now, remember, the reason I'm playing this is because she backtracks. She says, oh, a friend of mine, and then she backtracks. She actually backtracks twice in this clip. Let me show you again, guys.
Come to work for me. And that's how it all started.
I had a friend who had asked if I wanted to visit. Well, actually, it wasn't even a friend. It was someone who saw me at the Eagles Club, which was a place where kids...
So I'll play it again because it's so short. She backtracks. A friend, Curry Grant, then she backtracks. Then I'll play the whole clip.
Come to work for me. And that's how it all started.
I had a friend who had asked if I wanted to visit. Well, actually, it wasn't even a friend. It was someone who saw me at the Eagles Club, which was a place where kids from the military and families would go and hang out, get a bite to eat, have dinner or lunch, or there was an entertainment night on Saturday nights, and I would go there every day, you know, write letters and have a bite to eat and take my brother with me. And there was a guy that was kind of, you know, knew that I was there and came over to me one day and saw me writing a letter and said, you know, what are you doing? And I told him, how long you been here? About 3 weeks. And then he said, you know, do you like Elvis Presley? And I said, yeah, you know, who doesn't like Elvis? And he says, would you like to meet him? And I said, I can't do it, you know, unless, you know, I talked to my parents. So my parents met, and I mean, it was a couple of days. It wasn't like something that happened right away. My parents wanted to know who in the heck, you know, this person is. It was, you know, him and his wife. And after he met them, or my parents did, they said, well, you know, they seem like a very nice couple. And back then, you know, it was very innocent. It wasn't like it is today in any way. You didn't hear about horrible stories that went on, and it was just the era.
So I personally think through that, she chops and changes her story. She backtracks a bit. She alters her story. She's trying to sort of think to herself, it just in my opinion, she knows the version that we've all been told for since 1980, probably. Yeah, in interviews, she's always said this story about how she didn't know Cary Grant. He approached her, a complete stranger. It was a fated meeting. It was meant to happen. She loves the fairy tale. Yeah, I think we've proved already that he was probably a friend before she even knew Elvis. She probably approached Cary Grant, asked him, do you know Elvis? If you do, I think she pursued Cary Grant with the long-term intention of him introducing Priscilla to Elvis. I also think Cary Grant had a bit of a crush on her, on Priscilla, even though he was married. Yeah. So the whole thing is just dodgy. Yeah. So let's go back to Joe Esposito's version. So Joe Esposito, let me see if I can find it. He backs up what I'm trying to say. So let's click on Joe Esposito's. So this is what
romance.
So this is what Tonya is saying. She's saying that I altered this. I did not alter it. I played the clip. It's shorter, but I played the clip. We're going to do this short clip, and then we're going to play the long clip. It's going to take us a while to find it, but I'm going to play all the Joe Esposito clips that I can find and all the Priscilla clips I can find. I've got 2 videos, part 1, part 2, that was sent to me, and they're quite long, so I'm going to fast forward to the bits that show Joe and Priscilla. Okay, guys? First of all, let's play this clip. Now, what I think is quite clear in this clip is that Joe says that he spoke to Elvis, that Cary Grant had told Elvis that a girl had asked him, so Priscilla had asked him, Cary Grant, if she could meet Elvis. So the girl knew Cary Grant. She made the first move to meet Elvis, not the other way around. Not Cary Grant approached her out of the blue in the snack bar or the Eagles Club, whatever they call it. So I'm trying to show that we have been lied to for over 40 years, that Priscilla actually made an intention, because she had heard Cary Grant knew Elvis, and her plan was to speak to Cary Grant and ask him to introduce her to Elvis. And that there could have been a plan, just alleged, that the version in here, that it was all pre-planned, that she would meet, that she wanted to arrange a meeting via Cary Grant to meet Elvis, that it was all pre-planned. And Cary Grant actually may have even been, allegedly, her lover, even though he was married. I've always said that this very odd thing where Cary Grant and his wife went and met Priscilla's parents to arrange a meeting between Priscilla and Elvis, to ask Priscilla's parents for permission. Yeah, for permission for Priscilla to meet Elvis. I've always found that story quite odd and a bit unbelievable. It just doesn't make sense. Why would a husband and wife in their late 20s want to go and meet Priscilla's parents and arrange a meeting for the 14-year-old Priscilla to meet Elvis? Now, I know some of you will say, well, Elvis wanted them to because Elvis was friends with Cary Grant. It just sounds far-fetched to me. I don't believe it. I don't believe all the versions of what we're being told, that a stranger approached Priscilla. I don't believe. I find it a bit too much to believe. My common sense kicks in. I find it hard to imagine that Cary Grant and his wife went to meet Priscilla's parents just to arrange this meeting of a 14-year-old girl with a 24-year-old man. It all sounds too good to be true. I know that Priscilla wants us to believe the story, her fairy tale version of how perfect everything was until it went wrong. So I dispute it. So let's listen to this.
This was beginning in Wiesbaden, Germany. Joe Esposito was there.
I was there the day he met Priscilla. There was this guy in the Air Force that was a friend of Elvis's, and he was telling her about this beautiful young lady that he knew, and she wanted to meet him. So one evening he brought her over to the house.
Right, remember, let's listen to the beginning again. Remember, we have always been told Priscilla never knew him, never knew Cary Grant. He approached her. An unexpected, a chance. Cary Grant noticed her and came over to her. She was a stranger to Cary Grant, and vice versa. She didn't know Cary Grant. This is what we've always been told. A stranger came up to her in this snack bar or officers club, whatever it is, and said, "Do you want to meet Elvis? Do you know who Elvis is?" Yeah? This is what we've always been told. This Joe says it different.
Romance was beginning in Wiesbaden, Germany. Joe Esposito was there.
I was there the day he met Priscilla. There was this guy in the Air Force that was a friend of Elvis's, and he was telling her about this beautiful young lady that he knew, and she wanted to meet him.
Remember, Joe's words. Joe grew up with Elvis. Joe was with Elvis in 59. Remember, she wanted to meet him. I really want to reiterate this. I tried to do this yesterday as well. She wanted to meet him. This shows that this is a barefaced lie, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes. This version may be, allegedly, bullshit. I'm going to play it one more time, and then we're going to move on.
This was beginning in Wiesbaden, Germany. Joe Esposito was there.
I was there the day he met Priscilla. There was this guy in the Air Force that was a friend of Elvis's, and he was telling her about this beautiful young lady that he knew, and she wanted to meet him. So one evening he brought her over to the house, and there was a bunch of us in the house, just like we always hung out. And Priscilla came in the door, and this beautiful young lady walked in, and this cute little navy dress, very beautiful, and walked in, and Elvis walked up to her, did the same thing he did to me, and introduced himself, and I could tell she was a little nervous, which I don't blame her. And they started talking. He took her on the side by himself, and they talked for a long time, and basically that's how it all started.
Right, okay. So I will say this about Joe. He likes Priscilla. So his version of everything, I like Joe. I've spoken to his daughter, Cindy. She's lovely. But he likes Priscilla. So his version of events will be from the point of view of liking her. So I do think that affects things. But that's pretty clear that Priscilla slips up in the first video. In the second video, Joe says that she wanted to meet Elvis. Priscilla, yeah? Right. So I think Matthew said something that Priscilla's parents allowed Cary and Elvis to hang out with their daughter. Well, I still say this. We have to put ourselves in 1959. Yeah? In 1959, men in their 20s were dating teenagers. Yeah? We don't agree with it now, but it was pretty normal, maybe not as young as 14, but for a man in his 20s to date a 16-year-old in the 1950s was completely normal, and the 60s. I don't agree with it, but it was normal. So that is my answer to Matthew's comment. Priscilla's dad absolutely checked out Cary through his army connections. Even Cary says that. Well, show me some proof. Yeah? I don't disagree with that. Show me some proof. Everything we say, we want to try and back it up. Okay, guys? Silly was underage and not legally allowed in the Eagles Club because of alcohol sales. Okay, but I'd need proof of that as well. I'd need proof of that as well. Because I don't know what the Eagles Club's rules were. I don't know why she was in there. Did she look older? Who knows? Again, we want to back it up, yeah? Right, so. Well, Pat, I don't know what that means, because that's just a term, isn't it? Pat, when a man in his 20s calls a young girl a baby, it's just a speech. Come on, she was 14. She was 14. That's how old she was, yeah? So she was that, yeah? Right, so let me, right, so now, I want to find the original video sent to me. It was actually Elaine who sent it me. Let's have a look. So all these bloody weird things on Facebook. I just don't like it, but we can't really. We get so much spam on Facebook. It's annoying. But right, okay. Let's find the original. Let's just right. Let's find the original. It's here somewhere. We want the original. Actually, thinking about it, I've got it. I've stored it on my thing. Let's get the original. Got some great footage here, guys. Remember, I store everything on my channel. There we are. This is it. Let's pause it. So in case you want to know, guys, this is the name of the YouTube channel that was sent to me. Let's see if it shows you. Marrying Elvis Part 1, EPFC TV. EPFC TV. So this was sent to me by Elaine. If someone sends me something, guys, I do like to let them know who it is, yeah? Elvis thought of Priscilla as a sister. Oh, I don't agree with that. I definitely don't agree with that. He liked her. He liked her. Guys, Elvis liked Priscilla. I don't care what anyone says. He liked her, yeah? I never said, I'm not saying he had a relationship with her. I'm not saying that they had any kissing and stuff. I'm saying he liked her, yeah? And not like a sister. But Elvis wanted to wait till she got older, yeah? So, come on, we have to be straight, yeah? Guys, we're not going to beat about the bush here. We're going to show warts and all. We're going to show all of the story, both sides of the story. We're going to be fair, and then we're going to defend Elvis. Yeah, that's how we're going to do it, guys. So what I'm going to do is just find any clip that shows Joe Esposito, because this video is mainly about a British couple traveling to America. So let's just stop it. Whenever I see Joe, I'm going to stop it and play the whole clip. Remember, I keep saying it, the best way to defend is to be honest. That is the best way to defend, to show all sides of the story. I think this is it. Right, here we go.
People who knew him intimately have their own special memories.
Well, I got drafted into the Army the same time Elvis did. And I'm from Chicago originally. And I went to Fort Hood, Texas for basic training. Elvis followed me there. Then I went to Friedberg, Germany for 18 months. Elvis followed me there. He was following me all over while I was in the Army. I didn't meet him in Texas, and I didn't meet him when he first got there, too. I saw him around the base. I didn't want to bother him, just leave him alone, because, you know, being the big star he was, everybody wanted something out of him. But eventually, one of his good friends in the service, they used to play football on the weekends, and one weekend he came over to me and said, Joe, listen, we need some more players. You want to go play football?
So Joe's telling us how he met Elvis, okay?
I said, yeah, I'd love to meet Elvis, you know? So that's how it happened. I went over there, went into Elvis's house he had rented for his dad and his grandmother to stay there with him, and walked in the house. Elvis walked up to me and said, hey, hi, I'm Elvis Presley. Like, you know, I didn't know who he was, but that's the kind of gentleman he was. And he said, Joe, you'll be on my team this day. And so we go out, play football for a couple of hours, touch football, and came back to the house. There's a bunch of guys there, and people were all talking, and Elvis, you know, talked to me, asked me where I was from, you know, and all those kinds of things. And he said, anytime you want to come on the weekends, you're welcome to come over. So he gave me the phone number of the house, and little by little, became friends and hung out quite a bit. And before I left the service, he said, come to work for me. And that's how it all started.
So remember, guys, I had a comment from Tonya, who thinks I'm chopping up these clips to make, I think she's insinuating that I'm editing things to show that Priscilla's lying or changing her story. I'm not. So I think for Tonya, not our Tonya, not Team Elvis Tonya, this is a different Tonya. I'm showing the full clips, okay? The full clips to show honesty. I haven't changed anything, okay, guys? So let's see if this plays out.
I had a friend who had asked if I wanted to visit. Well, actually, it wasn't even a friend. It was someone who saw me at the Eagles Club, which was...
Oh, right, okay. I didn't know it was going to jump to Priscilla. Right, okay. So we're going to play the Priscilla clip. I want to read your clips, guys. So he liked her in the beginning. As he got to know her, he knew she was not for him. I think yes, but years later, yeah, lady, I don't think he realised that Priscilla wasn't for him until after she was pregnant. I think once she got pregnant, he saw a different side to her. This is just my opinion. Even when he caught her being unfaithful with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, even more so. Yeah. I will say this, and no one likes it when I say it. When she first moved to Graceland, Elvis was seeing other people. Yeah. When she moved to Graceland, when she was 17, nearly 18, Elvis was seeing other people. That must have been tough, guys. We have to at least be fair. We must be fair on this. We can't completely paint Elvis out as a saint. It's not fair for us to defend in a way where we're taken seriously and credible. Elvis was seeing other people through the 60s, at least up until the engagement. Yeah, that must have been hard for Priscilla. I don't care what anyone says. That doesn't make me a Priscilla fan. It just means I'm trying to be fair. Now, once Elvis got engaged, I believe that he tried to be faithful. I think through the pregnancy and the marriage, he tried to be faithful. Joe Esposito says that once, 100%, once the baby was born, once they were married, Elvis was faithful. He says it. Elvis was definitely faithful 3-4 months from when they got married. That is my view. Okay, guys? So, anyone, I'm getting some comments here that he saw Priscilla more like from a brotherly love and more like a sister. No way. No way. No way. I do think eventually once Elvis realised Priscilla wasn't right for him, I do think that the love that he had for her changed as the love you give for the mother of your child. I repeat, once after Priscilla was unfaithful with Steve Peck, once Lisa Marie was 3 or 4 months old, I do think Elvis started to discover that Priscilla had a dark side, a secret side, and that he started to see her more as the mother of Lisa, the way he saw her. I do think there was a love there, but it was a love as the mother of Lisa. It was different. It changed. Yeah? It wasn't a sexual love after he caught her being unfaithful. I believe that. Yeah? So, don't forget, I'm just a fan, guys. I could be wrong. I'm no expert. I don't know it all. All of you could say to me, Louis, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Every one of you could. I'm giving you Louis' opinion as a fan. Yeah? So Emily, I don't agree with the whole brotherly thing until later, after she's been unfaithful. Yeah? Yeah, Hillbilly Cat, Matthew, I'd like to read out the Lamar's version, but we'll do that on a different day. One day we'll have a Lamar Fike live stream. Oh, thanks, Emily. So, Kate, hi, Louis. Team Elvis, Kate. I think at 16, going out with a man in his 20s in 1959 is one thing, but at 14, with a famous rock star, it's quite another. Fine. That's fine. But in no way am I going to say that a man in his 20s should be going out with a 14-year-old. You're never going to hear me say that. I will say in 1959, things were very different. Very different. And I think you have to live it. You have to be in that culture, in that decade, to really understand it. Yeah? You'll be surprised just how different things were. But I do understand your comment, Kate. Once she moved into Graceland, he began to understand her personality. He began to wonder how he got himself. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, Ryan, yeah. I agree with that. Right, let's play Priscilla. Let's listen to Priscilla.
Out, play football for a couple of hours, touch football, and came back to the house. There's a bunch of guys there, and people were all talking, and Elvis, talked to me, asked me where I was from, and all those kinds of things. And he said, anytime you want to come on the weekends, you're welcome to come over. So he gave me the phone number of the house, and little by little, became friends and hung out quite a bit. And before I left the service, he said, come to work for me. And that's how it all started.
I had a friend who had asked if I wanted to visit. Well, actually, it wasn't even a friend. It was someone who saw me at the Eagles Club, which was a place where kids from the military and families would go and hang out, get a bite to eat, have dinner or lunch, or there was an entertainment night on Saturday nights, and I would go there every day, you know, write letters and have a bite to eat and take my brother with me. And there was a guy that was kind of, you know, knew that I was there and came over to me one day and saw me writing a letter and said, you know, what are you doing? And I told him, how long you been here? About 3 weeks. And then he said, you know, do you like Elvis Presley? And I said, yeah, you know, who doesn't like Elvis? And he says, would you like to meet him? And I said, I can't do it, you know, unless, you know, I talked to my parents. So my parents met, and I mean, it was a couple of days. It wasn't like something that happened right away. My parents wanted to know who in the heck, you know, this person is. It was, you know, him and his wife. And after he met them, or my parents did, they said, well, you know, they seem like a very nice couple. And back then, you know, it was very innocent. It wasn't like it is today in any way. You didn't hear about horrible stories that went on, and it was just the era.
There's a lot of big.
So just pause that there. So I'm playing the whole clips because there was someone who commented on my YouTube channel called Tonya, not our Tonya. We have Team Elvis Tonya. This was a different Tonya. She thinks that I've edited things to suit myself. I haven't. So to prove to her that I'm not full of shit, I'm playing the whole clips. Okay. So yeah, come on, guys. I know that sometimes my views are going to annoy you. Yeah. But I still stand. If I say something and I believe it, I'm going to stand my ground. I'm not going to just give in because I'm a yes person. I won't be a yes person. I'll give you my views. If it irritates you, fine. If you want to disagree with me, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. I'm still going to stand with my views. Yeah. So let's have a look. So I can see that Pat and someone else has said, do you know what? In the 1950s, men in their 20s were marrying teenagers. They were. So right, let's play the next clip.
Celebrities and singers I know that are very shy off stage, but then they get on stage, they're somebody else. That's the real comes out of them. And Elvis is one of those people too.
I went to see him on a weekend, and I walked into the room, and he was sitting there with a few of his friends, and he got up, and he was such a gentleman. It was hard to believe, you know, you'd hear all these stories, but he was just nice, and damn, he was good looking. I mean, it was unbelievable to see this guy sitting there, and even more beautiful in person than on the screen, if that could even, you know, be possible.
I was in Las Vegas.
I agree with that. Yeah, so yeah, I like that. We're here to learn. We're learning off each other. I learn from your comments every day. Every day. I learn so much. So Matt mentioned Anita Wood. And remember, I'm a big fan of Anita Wood. We've read her book. Yeah. I'll be honest with you guys. I've read that book, and they were deeply in love for a long time. But when Elvis first went to Bad Nauheim, so, you know, many say it was because of the Colonel that Anita didn't come. Yeah. Elvis was a little bit taken aback that he was suddenly in Bad Nauheim and he did miss Anita a lot. We read the love letters. We've done it on here. We've read the letters out from Anita to Elvis, and I think there might be one or two from Elvis to Anita. I do think Elvis initially missed Anita a lot. But as Elvis gets used to being in Germany, I think Elvis likes his space. Elvis starts having other girlfriends. Elvis doesn't really want Anita to come over. Yeah? So there's more to it. I personally think, I feel sorry for Anita. I think she had her heart broken. I think she really waited for Elvis. She gave up things for Elvis. But Elvis was too young. He wasn't ready to settle down. He wasn't ready to be with one girl. I think Elvis had 3 or 4 girlfriends in Germany. Even when Elvis comes back in 1960 to America, yeah, he's still seeing Anita, but he's also seeing other people. And I think Anita knows it. Anita picks up on the fact there's more going on. Yeah? So, you know, my heart goes out to Anita Wood. I know she's passed away, but she went through it with Elvis. It was not... Elvis, in some ways, didn't treat her right. in some ways. In other ways, he treated her beautifully. They had a lovely romance. So we see both sides of the story. Anita was a real decent girl. Beautiful, talented, and genuine and decent. Yeah. So maybe Elvis regretted it later in life. Yeah. So they were so Elizabeth says in the 80s, my sister got married to a guy who is older than her, around the same. Yeah. Anita lived at Graceland's for 2 years after Elvis returned from the army. Vernon wept when, yeah, I know, we know the story. Matthew, you don't know this because you're new to our channel. We've done a lot of live streams concerning Anita and this book. And we've done a lot of interviews, a lot of research, and we know everything. A lot happened. Ultimately, I'm trying. Obviously, I defend Elvis and his bloodline, so I don't go too far with what I'm going to say. But Elvis didn't treat Anita right in the end. He wasn't. The way that the relationship evolved was not nice for Anita. Yeah. But the earlier years, Anita was amazing. She was really close to Gladys and Vern. She was so good to Elvis. They had a beautiful romance. I know exactly how they met and how they romanced and all that. It's just sad. Many people think she was perfect for Elvis. Yeah. Right. Let's press play.
Vegas, and he came out of the New Frontier Hotel, and he had this beautiful.
So Kate, you with your comments. I love your comments. I don't agree with you. Kate, I think Elvis truly loved Anita, and I think she truly loved him. Elvis was too young. He was too young. How old was he when they finally split up? 23? How old was he when they met? Early 20s? Do you get what I'm saying? Elvis wasn't ready to settle down. He had just become super famous. Was it 57? Super famous. You get it? Elvis just wasn't ready to settle down. It doesn't make him a bad person. He wanted to enjoy the fruits of life, the fruits of being the most famous man in the world, a beautiful man with all that talent. The whole world's eyes were on Elvis. He wasn't ready to commit himself fully to Anita Wood. I think he truly loved Anita. I think I've read the love letters, Kate. I've read the love letters. Yeah, he loved that girl. She loved him as well. He was too young. That's my answer to you, Kate. With respect, yeah. Ivor Senso. So he was 25 when they split. I think she's one of my favorite of his girlfriends, Anita Wood. She is very special. She is very special. She made a few mistakes. She recorded a phone call. She said a few things she didn't really have to say. But she wasn't treated well in the end, was she? She had her heart really broken. She must have felt quite humiliated. Yeah. So there's two sides to it. But I do believe that Elvis, in the earlier years of their relationship, was really lovely. Was lovely. I want to be honest. Okay? I respect everyone's views, even if they're different than mine. So I'm warning you guys, someone's coming to buy my wife's car any minute now, so I might have to suddenly go. Right, so what I want to do is carry on playing this, right?
Beautiful black leather jacket on and pants, and I wanted to trip him. I didn't. So anyway, I was introduced, but I didn't really know ever that I was going to end up doing a film.
All right, I got you. So did I read it wrong, Kate? Sorry. Did I? Let's have a look. Maybe I read... Oh, sorry, Kate. Did I read it wrong? Let's have a look. I get they were very different. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. I was referring to the parents of her being at school. So did Kate say that she did think they were in love? I can't find the bloody comment now. I do think Elvis and Anita was real love. Ah! I take it all back. Kate, I take it all back. Thank you. Okay, that's a great way for me to try and say it how it is. So I take it all back. Sorry, Kate, I read that wrong. I am a massive fan of Anita. I think Elvis could have treated her better. Yeah, do I get in trouble for that? So, Kate, I apologise. I got it mixed up. Right, let's keep going.
With him.
So we sat and talked and actually got along quite well. I think he was happy that there was someone that could speak English and respond and have a conversation with him. And he was all excited. I was telling him all the things that was going on in the States. Anyway, one thing led to another, and about 2 or 3 days later, I got a call saying that he wanted to see me again, which was a shock to me, but more so to my parents. They couldn't.
Just 1 second, someone at the door. All right, is that Talia? Who? Aurora? All right, you know, that guy's going to be here in a minute with the car. I'm just finishing up on my live. The guy's going to be here in 10 minutes. All right, I'm just letting you know, yeah? All right, bye.
Understand why, you know, Elvis wanted to see me again. But I explained to them that it was really just not, it was with a bunch of people. You know, his father was there, his grandmother's there, cooking.
I want to pause this bit. I want to hear this bit properly. Hang on, I've just seen a car go past, so I might have to go. Let's just see.
Respond and have a conversation with him. And he was all excited. I was telling him all the things that was going on.
And I want to go back. I want to get this right from the beginning, because I don't think I've watched this bit. Is your mum in a white car? Is your mum in a white car? I just saw, I just look out the window. Are they here or not?
No.
Someone's just gone past the window. Right. I might have to go. Yeah, I reckon he's going to be here any second now. He's coming from Cardiff. How far away is Cardiff?
An hour.
Yeah, he said he's going to be here in a minute. He said there's a bit of traffic. Say goodbye to your car.
You know, be possible.
I was in Las Vegas, and he came out of the New Frontier Hotel, and he had this beautiful black leather jacket on and pants, and I wanted to trip him. I didn't. So anyway, I was introduced, but I didn't really know ever that I was going to end up doing a film with him.
So we sat and talked and actually got along quite well. I think he
So she's talking about her first meeting of Elvis, yeah?
was happy that there was someone that could speak English and respond and have a conversation with him. And he was all excited. I was telling him all the things that was going on in the States. Anyway, one thing led to another, and about 2 or 3 days later, I got a call saying that he wanted to see me again, which was a shock to me, but more so to my parents. They couldn't understand why, you know, Elvis wanted to see me again. But I explained to them that it was really just not, it was with a bunch of people. You know, his father was there, his grandmother's there, cooking every night. So it was a very down-home feeling. And to be honest, it was great for me too, because I had just got to Germany and didn't know anyone at that time and hadn't even started school yet. I was going into the 9th grade. So I got a call about 2 days or 3 days after that asking if I could come back. And that was the beginning of the relationship for 6 months, and then he left.
Well, being Elvis's friend was an amazing, like I said, it changed my whole life.
And, you know, he had talked about wanting me to go to the States and wanting me to go to Graceland. That's all he talked about, was wanting to take me to Graceland and meet everyone there. There were those conversations, and it was somewhat of a future for me, but I never in my wildest dreams thought it would ever happen in any sense. It was just, to me, talk and never thinking it would actually happen.
I mean,
So yeah, so we'll keep watching that. So Steve mentioned, yeah, so we had, is it Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel? Is that what it's called? Steve, he's joined our show a few times now. Yeah, Vincenzo, I went on there briefly for like 20 minutes, and he didn't say hello. He didn't say hello. Steve, say hello. Vincenzo, whenever Steve joins us, I always say hello to him and give him a shout out on his channel and mention his channel. And so I went onto his channel a couple of days ago. It might have been yesterday. And Steve, say hello to me. Come on, my friend. Return the favor. Right. So let's keep going.
and there's very few people, when I got drafted into the service, I tell people it's like I won the lottery, because there's like probably 2 million guys in the service at the time. So it's 2 million to 1 that I was going to go meet Elvis Presley in the Army and end up going to work for him.
You know, he was about going into the Army, and he was very, very emotionally, you know, discerned about it. And so it was very difficult at first.
Yeah, Matt was there. Matt, you were there as well, weren't you?
To communicate with him, but Judy sort of was Judy Tyler, sweetheart, was a go-between. So finally we started to, communicate. And, he said he was sorry and everything. But this is after, I mean, both of us were just like this for about a week. And then we went into the kissing scene, and that sort of lightened up the atmosphere.
My life is so much
She like that.
surrounded about Elvis, even now, 30 years after he's gone, that Elvis is a big, big part of my life. And it means a lot to me that I became friends with this man, that very few people could ever say they lived the life I ever led.
I'm so
That is so true. That is so true.
jealous of me. It was wonderful meeting him. He's a sweetheart and lovely lips.
Lovely lips.
Well, every red-blooded boy likes girls.
Tommy Sands, guys, we love Tommy Sands.
And I like girls, and Elvis liked girls.
And Tommy Sands was a good-looking young lad, wasn't he?
Elvis loved women. There's no two ways about it. He was very close to women. He was more comfortable around women than men, actually. And he spent a lot of time with girls talking about life in general, like he probably did with his mother. See what I'm saying? So I think he related closer to women than he did to men.
Yeah, and I've heard that many times.
Loved his mother, but women were really a projection of his mother.
Ooh, I like that. Women were a projection of his mother. That is such a lovely thing to say.
So he was very respectful. He wasn't a womanizer, as you would say.
I think Elvis could charm a girl without being a womanizer. He didn't have to go up to them and be all lechy and pervy. He was very cool and charming and well-mannered and respectful and quiet and calm, yeah? And I just think Elvis could put you at ease, treat you like you were the most important person in the world. You get it, guys? He really did know how to make you feel special. I think Elvis had that gift without being sleazy. That's just my views, guys.
Use and abuse. He was a real loving, sensitive being.
I miss the man every day. There's not a day.
So, Matthew, you're saying that Tommy Sands played Elvis. I don't know about that. Tell me about that, mate. I thought Steve was going to say hello to you. I did. It would have been nice. I just think that if I always, when any YouTube channel joins my channel, I always make a big deal of it. I always praise them, praise their channel. I'm very well mannered. I want it returned. I want it returned. Am I being a big baby?
Day goes by that I don't hear his name mentioned, or hear him on the radio, or see something in the newspaper about him, or somebody
Matt, where is this? Matt, you're talking about Tommy Sands playing Elvis. Where?
doesn't come and ask me about him. So he's a very, very big part of my life. I mean, my life is not surrounded about Elvis. I work at the Wynn Resort in Las Vegas, and Steve Wynn was a good friend of Elvis's and mine back in 1969, all the way. And so I get people come to the hotel. They know I'm working there. All these big Elvis fans and even high rollers are big Elvis fans and come and talk to me about Elvis and stuff like that. So he is a big part of my life still today.
Right, just read Matt's comment. Tommy was not only the first, he did it twice. Where? Where did he play Elvis? I don't know. Right, we can't have music. No music. Right, hang on. Here we go.
One was where we met.
I'm saying everything was just getting
Pause that
there.
a minute. Right, so I think we're going to come back for part 2 because I think that guy's going to turn up. So this video is pretty good video. It's very interesting. It's some British fans going over to America to get married in Memphis. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. It's part 1, part 2. They're around 40 minutes each part, and it's pretty interesting. We're rushing it a bit. Let me just see what happens now. So
Next time on Marrying Elvis.
So this is part 2, yeah?
Elvis. Priscilla recalls her big day.
So we snuck into Vegas early in the morning and got our marriage license, and then went right to the Aladdin Hotel. Both of us extremely nervous. Elvis extremely nervous.
And after all this time, Elvis's best man comes clean.
We didn't stop partying, and after Elvis got married, we still didn't stop partying. I mean, he was good for about 3 or 4 months after he got married, and things just went on the way it was the old days.
Now remember what he says, yeah? He was good for 3 or 4 months after he got married. Remember, Priscilla was unfaithful, allegedly, but she does admit it in her book, page 262, that she was unfaithful with Mark. Steve Peck is the real name. Mark is the pseudo name she uses. They had a brief affair and ended it. I could go into detail. She really fell for Steve Peck. Shall I just quickly read a small section? So we're going to come back and do part 2, okay, guys? Please don't be offended if we've disagreed, if I'm quite strong-minded. I don't mean to upset anyone. I am pretty, how can I say it? I'm pretty headstrong on my views. I don't mean to come across rude or unfriendly. Please don't take it the wrong way. Kate, I'm sorry for getting it wrong, your comment. I do sometimes mix up the comments sometimes, so I apologize for that. So she says, remember, she was living with Elvis. She had just had his baby, Priscilla. She says, so she's talking about the relationship. Now, she's sort of talking about dance, but I sometimes replace the word dance with the word sex. Yeah. So when I read this, think about sex and you'll see it differently. This is Priscilla talking about Mark whilst living with Elvis only months after Lisa Marie was born. She was just a baby in nappies. Yeah. So this is Priscilla. He said I had the potential. She's talking about the dance instructor, Steve Peck. She calls him Mark. He said I had the potential to be a good dancer. He said he pushed me to the limit. Out of frustration and pain, I would want to quit, demanding that I continue. He told me that I was building character and forced me to repeat the same routine until it was nearly perfected. Think about sex. Let's have a look. This made me realize that I could go further and further than I ever dreamed. He believed in me, and I was accomplishing something for the first time. I was creating a feeling good about myself, and I couldn't wait to get to class each day. Yeah? Mark was charismatic, and I was particularly vulnerable in lieu of a passionate marriage. She calls him Mark, but it's Steve Peck. Dance was becoming my life. I was obsessed with it. Get it, guys? Taking all my frustrations and feelings into the studio, I found myself thinking about Mark even when I was at home with Elvis, with Lisa Marie. It's disgusting, guys. She's obsessively thinking about Steve Peck, the dance instructor, while she's holding the baby, whilst Elvis is holding Lisa Marie at home with Elvis. Could you imagine the luxury that Priscilla lived in when they first got married? Could you imagine the money that Elvis spent to create a beautiful bedroom for Lisa Marie? Yeah, you get it, guys? When you first have a baby, 2, 3, 4 months old, everything is very special. Everything is the most beautiful time. Many of us here have had kids. Many of us here have had kids. It's such a special time. The first, I would say, first 6, 7, 8 years are very special. She is sleeping with or having an affair with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, and dreaming of Mark, dreaming of Steve Peck, whilst living with Elvis, a beautiful man like Elvis. Elvis had given her everything, and marriage, and a baby, and a home, and much, much more. Get it, guys? This is what makes this more disgusting. Yeah? Here we go. I found myself thinking about Mark even when I was at home. I had only seen him a few times in my life, and yet I was unable to get him out of my mind. What is that, guys? I rationalized myself, telling it was because he was always there for me. He seemed to understand me, while the man I truly love was involved in his own world. Well, he had a job and a career. He was making movies and albums. Come on. He had to pay the bills. He had a home to pay for. He had a life to pay for. So yeah, he had a job. Yeah. My true love was involved in his own world. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, of course he was. He's Elvis. I began to relax, enjoying myself almost against my will. It had been a while since I'd spent some time with a man who validated my abilities and appreciated spending time with me alone. It was also the first time I was not competing for my own identity. This was a high I had not experienced recently. I had a brief affair and decided to end it. Guys, it's disgusting. Disgusting. Sorry. There's no excuse. Priscilla, you're out of order. You're out of order. It's disgusting the way you treated Elvis. Disgusting. So I gotta go. Louis, maybe she is really talking about dancing. I know, but I'm teasing with you guys. Teasing. Mark was charismatic. That kills me. She had the charismatic, gorgeous man on earth. Elvis would have lavished Prissy and Lisa, giving them everything that he wanted growing up. Definitely, 100%. The man was also considering you healing after having a baby. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But I personally think there's no way Elvis was going to touch Priscilla after she had a baby once he caught her with Steve Peck. No way. Because who does? What man would want to go near his partner that is unfaithful? Now, what is unclear, we don't exactly know when Elvis found out. Did he find out then? Or did he find out a year later? This has come up. Some people are saying that he didn't find out till 1970. Do any of you know? So before I go, guys, is there anything you'd like to ask? So he's about to turn up, I think. So for sense, so Tommy Sands did the movie with Anne Margaret where he played a character based on Elvis. This movie was Bye Bye Birdie. Right. Gotcha. Right. I mean, I did watch Bye Bye Birdie, but a long time ago. The man was also considering, let's have a look. She decided to end it because Elvis was making it big again. I don't know. I know what you mean, but I don't know. I think, this is my view, she just fancied other men. She fancied other men, guys. She couldn't resist Steve Peck. He got to her through the dancing, the closeness. She just fancied him. She got turned on. Seriously, guys. She got turned on by Steve Peck. That's the truth of it. Eventually by Mike Stone. Right, gotta go. See you later,